How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Playmakers View. I'm your host, as always, Jamie Burdish. I appreciate you guys joining the show. Hope you guys are having a great start to 2021. Hopefully, a lot better than 2020 was, but I'm excited to get this content out to you guys. Today's guest is Will Stonecipher. Will was a teammate of mine last year at Westminster College, played baseball together. He was an outfielder, an outstanding outfielder as well, and great in the classroom as well, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the student-athlete aspect and in specific, how to grind through that, what it takes, and what it's like to live the life of a D3 or really any student athlete. For athletes out there wanting to become a student athlete, this will be good for you guys to get a glimpse at what it is that we do as student athletes and, the daily grind, all that good stuff. If you guys are liking this content, please always don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear your guys' thoughts if you like what you're seeing, if you're not, if you want to see more of it, all that good stuff. So again, please don't forget to subscribe. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at A Playmakers View. Catch up on all the latest content and all that good stuff. So with that being said, we can get things started and get rolling. Here we go. All right, guys. So like I said, I have Will Stonecipher join the podcast. Thank you so much, Will, for joining the show. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate you finding the time. First off, can you give the viewers a brief overview about yourself, who you are, and kind of what you're up to right now?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jamie. I'm Will Stonecipher. I graduated back in May from Westminster. Played baseball for 4 years there. Played a half a season there with Jamie. And now I started 2 weeks ago. I'm a tax accountant in St. Louis.
Gotcha. So growing up, what kind of sports did you play? I know you're a pretty athletic guy. So in high school, middle school, throughout your days, what kind of sports did you play growing up?
So I played basketball and baseball through high school, and then I played football through seventh grade, I think. Going into high school, I definitely and through high school, honestly, I liked basketball more. Probably had better experiences of basketball in high school, but I kind of just thought my ceiling in baseball was a little higher. I thought my game would translate to the next level a little better than basketball would have. So.
Yeah. So obviously, becoming a student athlete is not an easy thing. So for you, what drove you to want to become a student athlete? Was it just because you wanted to continue playing a sport, or what was the reason behind becoming a student athlete?
Yeah, so like I said, my baseball experiences in high school, they were still good. They just weren't near as good as basketball. And I wouldn't say I wanted closure. I just kind of wanted more fulfilled experiences. I still like the game. Playing summer baseball was always fun. And I thought Westminster was able to give that to me, while also offering a great education.
Yeah. So moving forward, what did this process look like for you? Everyone has a different experience of how they go to college sports. So how did you get recruited? How did that process work for you? What kind of things did you do to get your name out there to these college coaches?
Yeah. In high school, early in high school, I kind of grew late. I was kind of a raw player, so I didn't get a ton of looks. I played for the Rawlings Tigers, and all those organizations have a great recruiting programs. They know coaches. They they can get you connected, and they make videos for you to send out. And I was a little proactive. I went to a few camps, which is where Coach Hughes was able to reach out to me. And then I took a visit to Westminster, and I really didn't look at many other schools my senior year of high school, which is kind of when I started evolving in baseball and getting better. So I think that's kind of my path. Like I said, I didn't get a ton of looks, so I kind of wanted that personalized recruiting experience. Not a generic sales pitch to get people enrolled in a school or something like that.
Yeah, I got you. So again, I wanted to ask you why specifically Westminster. I know you talked about your brother going there, and it's a great academic school as well. So what factors played in for you to choose Westminster over these other schools that were offering you?
Yeah, there's definitely a few factors. Like I said, Coach Hughes was extremely personable. He wasn't offering, a sales pitch to get people in the door. And like you said, my brother attended there, so I'd visited a few times, and it just seemed like a lot of people like me who, kind of wanted that academic uh, and be an athlete. Uh, and also another factor that was kind of small. I thought this was bigger going in there, and looking back, it wasn't a huge factor. But there's the University of Missouri. A lot of my friends went there, so it didn't feel like I was going to distance myself in college to play baseball. That was one of the things that I didn't quite want to. In the case that I ended up not liking it, didn't want to continue playing baseball. So
Yeah, for sure. So there's obviously a lot of challenges when it comes to becoming a student athlete. So can you talk a little bit about your experience as a student athlete, some things that you ran into that were tough for you to get through, managing both academics, because again, Westminster is a pretty strong academic school, managing that and your baseball schedule. So how did that look like what did that look like for you?
obviously it was tough with waking up at 7 a.m. to lift, Saturday 8 a.m. practices, weekday 8 p.m. practices. D3 you have to be flexible because Westminster's a small school, so classes can't be offered, at a specific time for athletes or something like that. So it's kind of keeping that balance. And also I would say the toughest things is separating the two. A lot of times you'll have a midweek game, and if you have a bad game and you have to go back to school and study or finish homework, you got to be able to separate those. Put baseball to the side for an hour to get your stuff done in the classroom.
Sure. So, what kind of things did you do specifically? I know everyone has their different ways of getting things done, but what worked for you? Because obviously you're a pretty successful, both student and athlete. So, what did you do to keep that good rep and just become the best person you could be, both on the field and in the classroom?
Definitely time management, prioritizing things. One of the things Coach Bishop always said is, a player's not good to him if he can't play, if he doesn't make grades. So you got to put academics first, and then baseball second, and still work hard. Another one of the things that he said is it's always the best kids academically that are the best baseball players, because that's just a testament to how hard they work in the classroom, in the weight room, on the field. Um, and another thing I did that kind of lightened the load academically is I took a lot of winter and summer classes. I know Westminster offers a decent amount for general education, and so I would recommend all student athletes at all schools take advantage of that, lighten the load a little bit, so you can still excel in the classroom and on the field, and get your priorities intact.
Yeah. So, what does being a student athlete mean for you? When I say that, it means something different for everybody. So, now that you're in the real world, what kind of things do you think being a student athlete has taught you that has allowed you to grow and become the person you are today?
I think overcoming adversity, baseball especially, as a position player, you're gonna fail more times than you're gonna succeed. And there's times in the real world where you're not gonna do as well as you think you should have. And so during that, whether it's doing that in the real world or you're 0 for 6 in baseball, you got to take a step back, clear your mind, and focus on whatever's next. And that's attributable to all sports, but I think baseball in particular, it really hits home. Playing baseball for you know 17 years, however long it's been.
Yeah. Now, is there a specific moment you can think of when you can look back today and say, like, "Hey, this really helped me become a better hard worker," or anything in any aspect? Is there something from on the field experience that you had at Westminster that has helped you today?
I think failure of all things, kind of a like personally, freshman year in college, I had a decent freshman year for being a freshman. Sophomore year was awful. I kind of went in thinking, I had a good freshman year. I don't have to work as hard. I had a horrible sophomore year. Thought many times about quitting, and I kind of put that to the side and said, if this is my attitude towards baseball, that's probably what it's going to be academically in the real world. So, I stuck it out, got to work, and got better results, definitely. So I think taking that attitude towards whatever it is, academics, sports, real life, and I think people have a lot of success with that.
All right, so the last question I have for you is obviously, it's important to learn and grow, and that's what this whole podcast is about. So for you and from your experience, what can you teach these viewers, the young athletes who either want to become a student athlete or are currently student athletes? What is your message for them to encourage them to keep going and to just keep succeeding and become better people once they get into the real world?
I would say for one, play a sport as long as you can, as long as you love it. Do that as long as you can, especially for the people that are out of it now, and especially the people that got their careers cut short to COVID. I wish I could still play, but the experiences that it brought me was a great reward. And then another thing I would say is play for an organization. I'm talking baseball in specific here. Like I said, I played for the Rawlings Tigers, and they had a great recruiting program. They know people. It's a little more expensive, but it is very worth it. It reduces the stress on your end in terms of reaching out to coaches. Being worried if you're going to get a response back or something like that. And then the final thing I'd say is pick a school that's right for you. There's a school for everyone, and it's always kind of sad when someone goes to a school, doesn't play, doesn't like the game anymore, and then doesn't even transfer, just is totally out of the game. So I think that's where Westminster, they were very personable. They were genuine. They weren't offering a sales pitch, trying to get enrollment numbers up. So I think picking the right school is so vital, and it really does dictate your next 4 years, and if you're still going to be playing. So
For sure. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Will, for joining the podcast. I hope the viewers got a chance to learn from your experience. And as always, I'm going to link his stuff down below. So if you guys want to reach out to him, ask him any questions about being a student athlete. If there's young athletes out there who want to become a student athlete, or anyone struggling through these tough COVID times, what it will take to get through that and just succeed when they go into the real world. So thank you again. I hope you guys are doing well out there, and we'll be back with you guys next week for another episode.